One. Hey, welcome back to the Nets, guys. Unbiased views. With me today is Elroy once again. It's been a while, Elroy. Welcome back.
Hey, thanks, Kevin. Yes, good to be back again.
Before we go anywhere, guys, if you have come this far, please do hit the like button. If you're a first-time viewer, please do hit the like and the subscribe button. It would help us a lot. This channel is Back to the Nets. We talk a little bit about Arsenal. We'll talk a little bit about cricket, but with me today is Elroy, so we will be talking about Arsenal today. So, Elroy, great
Yeah.
weekend.
Yes, indeed. I mean, after the last couple of shaky weekends and some, results which didn't go our way, this was a game we very badly needed a victory and we needed a performance as well, and we got both. And because it's the start of a very, very tricky period for Arsenal ahead with some tough matches, especially away matches coming in succession. So, away and big matches. So it was good to start it off at least on a good note. Let's see how the following 2 weeks go. But, just the kind of match and result that we needed to go into this run of games that we have right now.
Absolutely, and I like the way you put it. You said we just didn't need a victory, we needed a performance. And yes, we
Yeah.
needed a performance. We wanted to see some free flowing football. And
Yes.
needless to say, or maybe early days, but Odegaard has made a difference in the midfield. You think?
Yes, I mean he definitely did. He had some really really good moments. For his first proper start, he might have not got any assist or a goal yesterday, but there were a lot of signs, encouraging signs. And for a player of his, I would say, stature and physical ability, like and who's come from a Spanish league and who has not played a lot in these physical leagues, to come here and within 2 weeks to get adjusted to this, because his overall game was really good. So there are a lot of promising signs, and you can see that he's going to have an impact in these remaining 3 months of the season that we have. He is going to be someone who can definitely contribute to our season as of now. Like it's good to see him that way, the way he has
Absolutely.
played.
And
Lot of encouragement.
taking it 2 or 3 weeks back, we have this under Arteta. I mean, I don't know if Arteta has to be blamed here, but to some extent, he has to be accountable for what has happened. But we have seen this happen that we suddenly, if we lose one, we start losing a few in a in a bunch, and then again start gaining some confidence, and then again. So it doesn't even.
Yes.
We feel, should we really trust Arteta? Is he really the one taking us forward?
See, I mean, I am, I know this might sound a bit biased, like, because I am a big Arteta fan that way. But I think that, see, yes, Arteta is accountable for a lot of things. But overall, it has been, if you see most of the matches that we have lost, including the ones that we lost during our bad run of form, back in November, December, it's where it was a dialogue which was going around the social media over the last 2 weeks, is that we kept shooting ourselves in the foot. Unnecessary red cards, unnecessary, like very basic mistakes, which can easily be avoided. And when you see when we play well, when we have a good game, these kind of mistakes are usually not present. Or we go all out to win the game. So we have it in us, and that is what I say, that Arteta has brought a level of competency in us. He's made our team better to compete against a lot of teams that way. It's just that these individual errors, which sometimes it's really out of the hands of the manager, because what happens on the pitch, some of the stupid red cards which we have had, like, or sometimes even like, I don't want to make a big deal out of it, but yes, there have been a couple of dodgy refereeing decisions, but I don't want to blame everything on that. But some of these things are really out of your control. But this is something which probably will improve over time, when certain of these elements of certain players who are not very focused, or who don't have a long term future at this club, will be removed off. You get in well disciplined players, maybe things will improve. But yes, overall, if I have to pick one thing about Arteta, like as you said, is maybe he has to improve the discipline a bit more. There were signs of really really good discipline towards the project restart during last season, and there was a good response at the start of the season. But the moment things went a bit south, you could see that there were some issues, and that is what concerns me a bit. But I think that is something that can be fixed. And as you can see in some matches that there are positives for sure.
And so it also doesn't help, and this is maybe just me thinking that the timing doesn't help when the dip of form also comes at the same time when right before the transfer window, and people start, now they won't do it anymore, but the Ozil issues,
Yeah.
and then everything started being blamed on Arteta. And clearly there is something happening behind the scenes as well that
Yes.
we're not aware of. But never mind, that's a closed
Yeah.
chapter now. We don't talk about it. But we didn't even touch base after the transfer window was done. I thought this was a
Yes.
transfer window for us.
Oh yes, definitely. You know, a lot of people were critical about us in this transfer window, which how to say, people were upset with the fact that we let go of Socrates, Mustafi, and Ozil. By some of them, we practically paid them to get rid of their to terminate their contract. So people look at it and judge this window poorly. But I would say that is not the case. This was correcting the mistakes of the past. You know, we have made really poor signings, given poor contract. I mean, poor contracts in the sense which have affected the club. You've given big money to players, and with the current situation of the pandemic and foreign clubs or any club, as a matter of fact, not having a lot of money, people don't realize that it's really difficult to sell these players. And it's the question of, see, our players are on such high salaries, even average players, you know, the likes of Mustafi or Socrates, and you everybody knows the salary Ozil was on. If you want to get rid of these players, no normal team can buy them. There are only certain teams that can afford to actually pay them more. The only way they can pay them a decent salary is if they get them for free. And at the same time, if you look at a factor that cannot be accounted into figures and stuff that way, would be the fact that maybe these are certain elements when they are not playing, we don't know the impact that they have in the dressing room. Like everybody knows that Ozil had a massive impact on the dressing room, and him being dropped would have definitely caused massive division amongst the players. So they don't see the, people who are criticizing the club at this point of time don't see the impact which cannot be measured. Because when you have these players going out, you have a more tight knit group, a group which is more, how to say, together, and who is more understanding towards each other, and probably will get along well and less division, and that is what you want going ahead. So yeah, and in terms of incomings, we got in Matt Ryan on a free agent, I mean on loan, as a backup goalkeeper. And let's admit it, apart from that first goal against Aston Villa, which was he couldn't do anything about it. He was fantastic. He was really good. He had a solid debut. And then you have Odegaard, who, when you are looking for a creative midfielder and you know that you have Smith Rowe, you need to balance out the competition and a lot of factors that way. Without paying heavy money, we've got a talented attacking midfielder. So I feel the club have done really well. And yeah, even Kolasinac going out on loan, which, these are some things which maybe the club has to be appreciated for. And, at the end of the day, even sending Joe Willock out to Newcastle on loan, that for me is a deal that people are not talking about much. But for me, Joe Willock is a player I really like. I mean, people tend to look at him as a very casual player, but he has quality. He has certain attributes which will suit our team. And as with this season having Partey, Xhaka, Ceballos, and everyone, he was not going to get game time. This is beautiful for him because he gets game time, and maybe he can come back as a better player. And if not, say if we buy another good central midfielder or something, his time at Newcastle with the thing will just help us raise his price. Same goes with Niles. So I feel that, to sum it up, this was a very good window for us.
I thought so as well. I can see positives happening with Arteta. I'm not denying that. Definitely positives with Arteta. Then there are those factors where we feel that why is it, and this is specifically to games, and I'm pretty sure you've been keeping an eye on those out as well. But why is it that we can never be good with corners? Our corner delivery is
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah,
poor. It's We barely clear the first defender, and why is it that
yeah.
this is something that I would say that Arteta has to look into, and he has to make a difference right there and then. Or for that matter, even Xhaka and Villan coming in over and over again. Villan's inclusion is he has not contributed to anything so far for us. So those are the two things where I question Arteta that
Yeah.
why?
I think the villain question is, that itself can be like one entire talking session. But yeah, coming to your set piece point, to be honest, I have been tweeting about this or asking these, giving subtle hints to these certain, like, on Twitter, sometimes these journalists are there who do ask Arteta a question. I tagged a couple of them once and one guy liked it. I was hoping that he would ask Arteta, but he has not. I just really want to know that why are our set pieces, attacking set pieces, so bad? Because if you look at, and I'll put this in another way as well. We got a set piece coach in at the start of this season, and a lot of people focused on how is it that we are not scoring from the set pieces. But my only point to this would be, if you look at the other end, defensively, although we conceded against Leeds yesterday, and that was probably because we just pulled, we took it easy after 4 nil up. Our defensive our defending against set pieces has been good. The numbers are really, really good. It is actually very positive and it is surprising. And you can see that effort has been, I think we have the best defensive record, or maybe second best, but it's something for an Arsenal team that used to concede so much through set pieces. It's a welcome change. But yes, coming to the other side, attacking, as you said, I don't get the fact that every corner of us, every free kick, we just hit the first man, the first defender. Like, how difficult is it to get in a decent delivery? I'm not saying take like a Beckham level set piece, but I'm saying it has to at least threaten the opposition a bit,
Put
which
it
is
in the
something which
danger
I
area, right? Put it somewhere
exactly.
where and we
I
got pretty decent headers. Players who have
Yeah,
decent heads. We have Gabriel, who's a new inclusion. He's
who's a
good with the head.
yeah.
Back in the days, Mustafi was pretty decent with the head. And they always said he was he was more a force in the opposition's defense than in our own. Because he was good with the head. I would give it to him that at least that he was decent with the header. Luis is good with his headers.
Yeah.
So we have players who have the caliber. It's just the delivery that is so poor that I go back again to Arteta as to, do we not even practice this? And it's we see the same mistake happening. So can we not even try making some other changes, like you have those subtle changes where we try to make a short pass somewhere else and then to do it. We
No,
don't.
I mean, exactly, and this is what I'm talking about. It's really pissing off because, as you said, we have quality. We have even decent like Pepe is a good set piece taker. Saka is a good set piece taker. Willian, at least at Chelsea, was a good set piece taker. So we have quality in terms of people. And if you see and I'm talking about corners and maybe the free kicks that way, we have decent people to deliver in a good ball. But how is it that we are so bad at just making it something out of it, and at the same time, as you said, we have such good headers and headers of the ball, and you can see that in defense. they are not we are not hardly conceding in the defense through this thing, which touch wood, hopefully nothing else happens with that. But you can see improvement. But why is it so difficult for us to just, I'm not saying score a corner goal every game or something, but we need to be threatening the defend or opposition, which is not happening, and that is quite really, really upsetting actually. And yes,
And
coming to your other point,
yeah,
yes, yes, tell me.
good,
No,
good.
I was saying, coming to the other point of Willian, I mean, I really do not know. I understand to some extent maybe Arteta trying to get him on yesterday because we are 4-0 up, and maybe you want Willian to come and you're in the hope that he gets a goal or something just that bad. Because at this point of time, you just want Willian to even get if he puts like a 5-yard pass and if the player runs 30 meters and gets a goal, it's still an assist. Just something like that. People would, I mean, see, at the end, I dislike what the deal and everything, but at the end of the day, he is an Arsenal player. That is what my take on it is. And as an Arsenal player, you want an Arsenal player to do well. You want a player to be contributing. So I'm waiting for the day that, okay, this guy just scores a goal or gives a good assist, because right now there is nothing happening on his side. And what pisses me off was the fact that you could have easily gotten maybe Martinelli at this point of time, because Leeds is a team that presses a lot, and you can get a counter, they would leave spaces. You can give Martinelli a chance, but then no, that didn't happen. And so that Willian topic is something which is really, uh, you know it's not the best one right now.
So uh, we are actually in the business, and now we have Benfica, we have all these
Yeah.
where we know that not just counter attacking, but actually defensive football is going to matter a lot. It's
Yes.
especially in championship games where when knockout games, away games, one away game, first leg, second leg, it's usually the away goal that makes a difference in majority of the matches. And with
Yeah.
that being said, we have had so many defensive errors, even in games that we have won, like yesterday. We won, and maybe that overshadows the poor performance that Xhaka put in. Xhaka was absolutely horrible yesterday. He was with his back to the goal. I for some reason am never confident with the ball at Xhaka's feet. He's good if he's making a long pass, but besides that, if he's having he's facing the goalkeeper, I have never got any faith in him. For some reason, there will be an error, he will lose his ball. And I do not see us either playing Xhaka or Partey. Partey's fitness is definitely questionable.
Partey is out. Yes. Yeah.
But if Xhaka is the only DM that we have, then that's going to be a problem for us going into a tournament like this.
Yes, that is actually true because see, the thing is, if you've noticed Xhaka, the games that he has played well recently, like he's played well ever since he's had people like Smith Rowe and Saka, and I mean, that was the Chelsea game back then. But one of late, his performance has been good is because he's had a really physical and strong running and energetic presence in Partey. Without Partey, Xhaka is good against certain teams. Like Xhaka Ceballos is a decent, I wouldn't say the best central midfield partnership. It is a decent partnership against certain level of opposition. Against a certain higher level of opposition, it is a partnership that opposition can really take advantage of our setup. And what you said is actually correct. It's something that see, Xhaka has a lot of strong points as well, but at the same time he has a lot of limitations. And you know time and again that opposition have tried and taken advantage of that limitation, of those limitations. When you have someone like Partey with besides him, it's more difficult to take advantage of those situations because Partey covers up for his a lot of things that Xhaka lacks, in terms of energy, speed, and things that way. So yes, this is a very very tricky period for us, and how we manage the team. I mean, if getting Partey back at a point like this would be a blessing for our team. We would need it really really well. But if not, if we have to continuously go with Xhaka and Ceballos, it's going to be something wherein opposition are going to look, especially teams with a strong midfield. Like we have City in the coming weekend, if I'm not mistaken, who's going to try and overrun us in that central midfield area, which is something City are good at that way. So, you know,
If I mean, if you look at sheer numbers, City is playing on a different level altogether than
yeah, that
suddenly
is,
found their fifth year, and they are actually playing. I was
yeah,
in their last few games records, and they are clear, crystal clear, way ahead of everybody else. They are at
true.
53, I think, and United is one game
46,
and they are at 46. Yeah,
46, yeah.
but
So that's
season
almost
predictions.
like
What do you think we might end up? Where do you think we might end up?
uh, see, the problem what I see right now is that we are still not consistent enough. We are definitely, even though like as I said, we didn't get points against United, Wolves, and Aston Villa. Wolves was a different game altogether. United was a fair result. Aston Villa was again one of the 30 sides of a game that you would see, like one of the poor side. I just feel that we are still going to struggle a bit with consistency, and the next 2 weeks are really, really crucial for us. So I think we might just miss out of the top six. I think we might come the maximum we could end up getting around seventh, maybe. Realistically, I mean, if I'm being overly optimistic, I would say that we can somehow push for top six. Like just get the sixth position, which would qualify us for Europa. But it's difficult because uh, we are not doing this thing consistently. If we can somehow manage to be a bit more consistent, then top six is a possibility. Because see, the one thing that people, from top five till what we are right now, 10th, the number of points difference is quite less. Although we have a game in hand, the gap is quite small, and it is achievable because this is where in the later half of the season where when the games come a lot, where tiredness is going to come into a picture, your squad depth is going to have a massive say. And Arsenal do have a decent squad depth. So that is where maybe we have to really show up. If you see the teams above us right now, I think we have Aston Villa, we have Southampton, we have Tottenham, and
Southampton dipped
Leicester.
down. Southampton's
Oh,
form,
Southampton.
recent form dipped down. Yeah, they lost the last five.
Okay. Okay, yes. So we have Tottenham above us, Aston Villa, Everton, West Ham. Now, if you see, and Chelsea in fifth. Okay, but if you just take West Ham are on 23 games and 39 points, we are on 24 games and 34 points. So technically, even though they have a game in hand, we are 5 points behind top six, which is something very very achievable. But as I said, if we start to be consistent with our performances, then there is hope. But if we
Absolutely.
play like how we have been playing throughout the season, where couple of good games, then a string of bad games, and again bad game, that is not going to work. We are going to end up finishing seventh or eighth itself, like that way. But I don't see us finishing 10th. That is what I'll say. I still feel that we will jump a couple of places above, because especially with the other team's squad depth is going to be challenged, because the number of games is really a lot, and everybody is going to suffer from injuries, because playing 3 games in a week is quite a lot for any teams, and they've been doing this consistently since September and even before that. So yeah,
I feel
that is.
fairly bit optimistic. I think we will either finish fifth or sixth. I have a feeling we might fit. And it's specifically, I mean, I say that because I see teams like Leicester dropping points.
Yeah.
Liverpool, something's happened
uh,
to them. I
I
don't see
think
Liverpool
Liverpool, yeah,
finishing anything above fifth. I think he'll be fourth or fifth. Chelsea will pick
I
up.
think they would get fourth. Yeah, yeah. I think,
And
yeah,
I
Chelsea
have
is
a
a good.
feeling Leicester will drop points. Leicester.
Yes, even I have a feeling that amongst the current top 6, 7, whatever that part is there, Leicester, West Ham, and Everton. These 3 teams are amongst the top who are in the current top 7. You can say are the most inconsistent. Leicester have been really good, but last season also we saw that towards the end they really messed it up. So these 3 teams are the ones who could shake a bit, and those positions up for grabs. But as I said, it's all on us. It's in our hand that we will have to be
Yes.
consistent in terms of taking the point. But if we have the same, one good game, one bad game, one good game, that is not going to work for us. We have to
No,
be consistent.
I have a feeling that Liverpool is a game that we can win. I just have a feeling that Liverpool is a game that we can win. We can beat Liverpool.
Yes. To be honest, you see, this is what I like about this team, but at the same time dislike about this team is, if you saw it last season, you've seen it this season as well. This team has something in it wherein we can actually beat the champions of the league. I mean, not easily. Sometimes we can do that, but we will struggle to get points against the bottom team. This is something which is really really pissing off. But at the same time, if you look at it, this is something that Klopp had at Liverpool as well, and this is something which will improve when you get certain qualities of type of players and you build around that, just to get that consistency. Yeah.
And
Because
plus,
let's
it
face it, we
doesn't
still have.
it doesn't help the cause when you look at the teams, the games that we have on, and the teams that are ahead of us. Somebody like
Yeah,
Aston Villa, they are maybe 1 or 2 injuries away from having the entire
exactly,
season
exactly.
collapsing. And
Yes, true.
sad on somebody, but it is practical. I mean, considering we have all these many games, and this is where
Yes,
also feel that it's actually working for them. That they are not a part of any other leagues beside.
yes.
They are just focusing on PL, and
Yeah,
I think
I think that will.
it can work for
Yeah,
Liverpool. Liverpool may not really be successful in Europe this season around. I have a feeling Liverpool will collapse, and then they might gain some momentum at the end of the season.
end of the season. Yes, that's possible. And I think it's a similar thing will happen to Arsenal as well. I think based on how the next couple of weeks go, not right now. It all depends on how we progress in Europe. The moment we start to maybe do decently well in Europe, if we go ahead in Europe, and maybe the league performances don't improve a lot, then you will see a thing wherein we'll end up prioritizing the Europa League over the Premier League. That will highly be possible. But yeah, it all depends. So that's why I say the next 2, 3 weeks are crucial in terms of Europa and how we balance the Premier League, because some tough Premier League games coming up in the form of City and Leicester.
City. I'm looking at the table right now. We have City home, Leicester away, Tottenham home, Liverpool home, and West Ham home. West Ham away. Sorry, Burnley and West Ham away. So
Oh,
it's going to be the
the
next
West Ham away.
3 weeks or 4 weeks are going to be absolutely crucial. If we manage to,
Yes.
I would be practical and say we are not winning against City. We are not winning against City's current form.
Yes.
Right?
The
We'll
type
be
of form
lucky.
that they are. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, with the form that they
Yeah.
have. But I think we should be able to win against Benfica. We should be able to win against Burnley. We should realistically be able to beat Tottenham as well, considering their current form and our current form.
Yeah.
But Leicester away is again going to be a tricky game.
Leicester away is going to be quite a tricky one.
I do not see
My
us beating
issue,
Leicester.
yeah, yeah. My only issue right now would be that in terms of the immediate future would be that I'm somehow not happy with this full the way the Europa League is set up right now. That we have to play, both the teams have to play away for 2 legs, which I mean, that's. I mean, I know it's the current situations as such, but then it is, it for us it is really bad. It might be for Benfica as well because the continuous traveling and it's not an ideal situation, but then this is what it is. We cannot complain about it right now. I mean, in another 2 weeks time, if we have won both the ties, we'll be celebrating it, and if it is not, we'll just continue to complain about it. But it's not the ideal situation, but it is what has to be done, I guess, right now. But yeah, not it's something that has bugged me a bit, that that we have to play two of both the legs away. I mean, it's away for both the teams, but it's I wish that was not the case though, in an ideal world. Yeah.
Oh, strange times we live in, right? COVID ruined everything for everyone.
Yes. True.
All
True.
right. So I guess
Yes.
that's all that we have for today. Elroy, do you have?
Yes. Sure. No. I think that should be it, and maybe we can catch up over the weekend and talk about. Let's catch up over another old Arsenal match. Relive the other
I
segment that
I
we
would
have.
say let's catch up after the Benfica game. Let's see if we can
Sure. Yeah. We can do that.
hit a touch
Yes.
point.
Yes. Sure.
And well, all right. Well, I guess guys, that's all that we have for today. Once again, the channel is back to the nets. If you like it, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We try to be as positive as possible about Arsenal. I know tons of negativity out there, but just trying to talk about facts and statistics and numbers, and hopefully you guys like the channel. If you like it, give us a shout out, give us a feedback. If you don't like it, leave us a feedback. We will be glad to work on the content. And yet again, thank you, Elroy. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Thanks, Kev. Let's catch up soon, and hopefully
soon.
big game against Benfica. Let's get that victory, and
sounds good. Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.